What is marketing? If I asked you that question, you might probably say advertising, social media, maybe selling. And honestly, that's how I used to think about marketing too. But marketing is much bigger than that. The American Marketing Association defines marketing as the process of creating, communicating, delivering, and exchanging value. And that value isn't just for customers. It can create value for customers, partners, and society as a whole. Think about those four words for a moment: create, communicate, deliver, exchange. So, marketing isn't simply the advertisement you see on Instagram. It can start much earlier. It can influence the product that gets created, the price, the way it's delivered, the experience around it, and what happens after someone buys it. In other words, marketing can be part of the entire customer experience. So let's take this definition out of the textbook and look at it in real life. I'm going to show you 5 different faces of marketing, and I'm using familiar companies to make each one easier to understand. First, marketing as management. Think about a bank like Access Bank. A bank has enormous amounts of customer and transaction data. Marketing can use that information to understand patterns in customer behavior. Instead of simply guessing what customers might want, marketers can use data and insights to make better decisions and create more relevant campaigns. Second, marketing as exchange. Think about MTN and Airtel. You give them your money, and in return, you receive something you value: data, airtime, or connectivity. Now think about fintech companies like Flutterwave and Paystack. Merchants get a convenient payment experience, while the payment company earns a transaction fee. That's an exchange. Something of value is being traded for something else of value. Third, marketing is about satisfying needs. Consider OPay and Moniepoint. They're not simply apps or payment platforms. They're responding to real problems people and businesses face. How do I access financial services? How do I make payments easily? How do I receive money? And perhaps most importantly, how do I do all of this with greater trust and convenience? That's marketing responding to a need. Fourth, marketing can actually become a catalyst for change. Take Friesland Campana's Zero Waste campaign. The campaign wasn't simply about selling dairy products, it was also about influencing how people think about waste. That's an important part of marketing. Sometimes marketing doesn't just ask, "Will you buy this?" It asks, "Will you think differently? Will you behave differently?" And finally, marketing can be a source of value. Look at Nigerian breweries. They're not only selling what's inside the bottle. Through concerts, festivals, sponsorships, and cultural experiences, brands like Golder and Heineken can become connected to people's social lives. The product becomes associated with experiences, with memories, with belonging, and even with identity. That's another form of value. So look at what we've just seen: 5 companies, 5 different jobs marketing was doing. Access Bank, management; MTN and Airtel, exchange; OPay and Moniepoint, satisfying needs; Friesland Campina, creating change; Nigerian breweries, creating value. And none of those jobs was simply running ads. And this actually reminds me of how I started my own marketing journey. When I first got into marketing, I thought marketing meant digital marketing: posts, ads, campaigns, social media. That was my mental picture of marketing. It wasn't until I took actual marketing training that something finally clicked. Marketing wasn't just the communication I could see, it was everything happening around the customer. From the product being created, to how it's positioned, to how it's communicated, to how it's delivered, and finally, to the moment the customer actually experiences it. That one shift completely changed how I looked at brands around me. I stopped asking, "What advertisement are they running?" and started asking, "What problem are they solving? What value are they creating? What experience are they designing?" And that's when marketing started to make much more sense to me. Because marketing isn't just what you see in an advertisement. Marketing is the value, experience, and relationship behind the advertisement.